Welcome to Pbkc Picks for week number 14. My name is Mike Jameson, and me and Ernest didn't know it was dress-up day on the show.
Apparently. I didn't get the memo.
Today we're actually joined by a very special guest, Mr. Jacob Pbkc, right behind Noah. He's a big Dolphins fan, a longtime employee in the poker room. Been here over 20 years, right?
Long time.
Close to it.
Okay, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
This is Noah Carbone, Ernest Christian,
Hi.
Jacob Pbkc back there. I'm Mike Jameson. We're ready to talk about Week 14 on Pbkc Picks. We also have to mention the Bar Poker Open is coming up this weekend right here in the second floor poker room, including our 100K Monster Multi-Flight, which actually starts tomorrow with 5 flights, $300 buy-in. Easily one of the best tournaments there are in all of South Florida. If you're a poker player, get here to Pbkc for the Bar Poker Open. Go to our website, pbkennelclub.com, for more information. Now let's look at the recap from week number 13.
All right, I don't hate it. I do not hate this week's recap. I'm gaining ground. I am gaining ground.
No, you are.
Is there an asterisk right there?
So,
yeah.
wow, 11 this week?
Wait, Pat Rooney had 10 wins this week?
Pat Rooney had 10 wins.
Congratulations, Pat.
Yeah, look at that.
And I have to shout out to Tim Wright, because yesterday I talked to Tim for a while, which, obviously, you guys feel bad, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I talked to Tim, and when we looked at his picks, he actually, because of points, he literally picked the winner of every single game last week.
Really?
He had the winner.
Smart guy.
He lost a couple. There were 16 games last week. He lost 5 of them. Just specifically because of the points.
But otherwise, he would have won them all.
He would have won each and every game last week. 16 wins, which was that to me is
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Tim, stay away from the point spread. Bet straight up. That's
exactly. So Tim had 11 last week. He's now leading at 109.
I had 10, Mike.
Alexis staying strong with 8 at 108. Obviously, Noah is moving up with 104. Ernest didn't actually click the save button to put in his pick.
He got bailed out. So I got approached with an executive ruling by the producer, and Earnest came and appealed, and other people tried to appeal against Earnest and not give him the points. We made the ruling. We had a record of it. He's actually on film saying what his picks were. So the save button technicality. But some people think that it should not be allowed. So maybe that'll be the poll. Should Ernest's picks count if he doesn't put them in? Let's make that the poll.
He's mad though because we have a bet on the side.
A gentleman's bet.
A gentleman's,
a dinner bet.
Because the only legal bet is Hard Rock bets.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
We're betting chicken nuggets. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's probably Taco Bell
what you
if
get.
I owe you guys. So what are your takeaways from week 14?
So I'm starting to wonder. So there's so many games that are like, are we seeing a lot of bad games where like teams aren't competitive? Is the NFL product watered down a little bit? So there's 17 weeks now. We have to let's think about this for a second, Mike. So there's 16 games usually. Now we go to 17 games. And then if you go to 18, each game means less. And then, eventually end up like baseball, 162 games, and no game matters at all.
Yeah,
like literally,
exactly.
I don't want, like even basketball is halfway there. It's annoying to watch some of those things. So, 17-game season. A lot of these divisions are going to be already decided by this week. So, I don't know if the gap is with the talent problem or actually the product getting watered down. But I wasn't over enthused about the games this week. There were a lot of bad games. Thanksgiving particularly was terrible. Like one game after the other. Chicago has a chance to win, and they just their coach needed to get fired. Everybody knew he was going to get fired after that decision.
His response
and then to double down on it, be like, you know what? Too bad. That's what I did.
Fired in the first place.
You're fired. I'm going to try that next time I screw up at work. Be like, you know what? Too bad. Then you just get canned. So that and then Miami does what they do, and they can't play in the cold weather. Maybe they weren't prepared, like myself and Jacob today down here. It's like 58 degrees outside, and we're ready to go. But they looked uncomfortable. They're not built for that kind of game. So you start looking at these late runs and teams that are having to play in the elements. What teams can do that, and what teams are built to do that. Miami isn't one. There's a couple others that, whether it be Tampa or some other ones that question it. It is a real thing. It's cold.
It could be the less practices they have these days too.
Yeah.
Like you're not tackling as much in the off season, so
Yeah, it could be. And your birds beat the other birds.
Yeah.
Did
we decide last week?
There's only one. There's only one.
Just calm down.
Like, I'm calm, but
he doesn't think a raven is a bird
allegedly.
for some reason.
Yeah.
I still don't understand.
Football, there's only one birds. Are the Seahawks the birds?
The Cardinals.
They're birds also.
They're birds.
Okay, so his birds beat the other birds.
They did, handily.
Go ahead, Jacob. What is your takeaway from Week 13?
Cincinnati's defense.
Yeah. What?
It's all time bad.
Yeah.
For Joe Burrow to put up these numbers and them to lose these kind of games.
Oh my God.
All-time bad defense.
Yeah, it is really all-time
I don't know
bad.
how you fix that either. You just
understand
restart
that
the whole defense.
I know how you fix it.
Go ahead.
Well, look what
Bring
Philly
in
did. Philly
Vic
had all
Fangio.
time. They were terrible. You bring in a new coordinator. You draft all defensive players, and you nail the draft. That's the only way to fix it. They're a long way from getting that thing right.
You understand? Joe Burrow will be an MVP candidate if they were not 4-8.
Yeah, and I think that's
what he's playing.
I don't even know why that isn't a thing. You could still be the most valuable player in the league and not win, right?
No, they're not going to do that.
Well, it should be.
He's according to Hard Rock to the bets. He's number 12 on the rankings.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Plus, I think it's like plus 12,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Ernest, what's your takeaway from Week 13?
Piggybacking the last couple of weeks, the theme here with me, takeaway is that, seeing the tiers and seeing a bunch of, for me, I've been saying for the last month that Detroit's on tier 1 by itself. I think tier 1 now has some company now, and I think the Eagles with the win against the Ravens on Sunday. Who else won? The Bills obviously doing what they did against San Francisco on Sunday night. I think we have a tier 1 now of those three teams. I guess we put KC there because KC's still KC, and they did this crap last year, and what happened. But we're seeing a separation of the have-nots. Like to Noah's point, there's a lot of bad football being played. Like there's really good teams and there's really bad teams, and there's very small middle at this point right now. So the gaps continue to still widen.
The average, not
right.
the highest, not the best teams, not the worst teams, but the ones in the middle.
Right.
It's a lot of mediocrity.
Shout out to Tim. You're even seeing separation on the top now of the teams that you would say are contenders. So that's my takeaway.
Not pretenders.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like Giants.
Pretenders.
Yeah, my takeaway from Week 13 is I feel like everybody's down on the Chiefs just because they're barely winning these games. They shouldn't have won probably at least 5 of their
7
games.
7-1 against the spread.
At least.
Is that crazy?
It's absolutely crazy, but I know that come playoff time, that's going to be a different team. So I'm still on the Chiefs bandwagon. I still think they're a top 3 team in the league, and let's see what's going to happen going into week number 14.
I do think it's fair to be critical of the Chiefs while also acknowledging the fact that they could do this. You know why? Because this scenario happened last year.
Exactly.
And look what happened. So.
Yeah, we
the
talk
offense
about
was
that.
better last year, though.
I agree with that.
Defense was the same, but the offense
Kelsey's
was better
older,
last
too,
year.
on top of that. Mahomes is having a year, I guess you want to call it, but,
Well, they've had some injuries, too,
Correct,
in the wide receiver spots and stuff. But
don't call him out, though.
Exactly.
You learned that lesson.
No, you can't count that guy out. Ever.
Exactly. So now we're going to go into
2 minutes
week
to go.
14. But the one thing we're going to talk about before we talk about the games is the best place to watch the games. And that's right here in the Paddock Restaurant for Feasted Football. And that happens every football Sunday starting at 11:30 a.m. And it is honestly the best place. And if you come in for football Sundays in the Paddock, the buffet is free with $25 or more bet placed that day at Pbkc with the Hard Rock Bet app. And that's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. You got to be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. That's Feasted Football. Call them 561-683-2222, extension 199. And now we're going to talk about our weekly picks. This is the segment where we're going to go over each and every game.
Down to nuts and
And
bolts
hopefully
here.
after Ernest looks at his picks, he's going to save them.
I saved him this week. I made sure this time.
So we're going to go with the first game, and that's going to be the Thursday night
banger.
game. That is Green Bay at Detroit, where Detroit is favored by 3.5.
Are all Detroit's games at home? It seems like they're always.
Seems
I
that
think
way.
they only played one game outdoors this year. They said so far.
Correct.
Have they? They still have to play at Green Bay, or they already
No,
played?
they did. They beat them. Maybe a couple weeks
So that's the only game outdoor.
Yeah, correct.
This is wild. I don't even know what's going on there. Can Detroit go on the road in the playoffs and win a game in the cold? I don't even know. They might be built for indoors right now, but Detroit's banged up. They lost a handful of guys, linebacker Rodriguez this week in that game. A game they arguably could have lost or at least went to overtime with Chicago, which was a little bit surprising. And it's not like they weren't trying to keep their foot on the gas. They do. They try to bury teams. So Green Bay is playing very well. Their defense is playing very well. This is as bad games as we've seen. This is a good one. We're going to see a good one this week. Packers getting 3.5. it's a little low. I mean, in my opinion, against Detroit, but I do like Green Bay, and you know, that line's 3.5 because Green Bay is a pretty good team. So this is a big test for Detroit. If they beat them, they have a couple tough games coming on. I think they play Buffalo and a couple other ones. So this is a start of that run. Let's see how they do. But I'm going to take Green Bay here, and a great Thursday night game.
I'm taking Detroit to get back on track and prove why they're one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, Detroit's next 2 weeks. We're gonna know more about these lines. I mean, right now they're getting injuries the worst time of the year. But you know, next 2 weeks, Green Bay tomorrow, Buffalo next week, possible Super Bowl preview. Who knows? They need to get right game after the squeaking out against Chicago and how dumb they are. Eberflus and with that crap, whatever that hell that was. Last year when they met on Thanksgiving, this was the game where Green Bay turned around their season in Detroit on Thanksgiving. It was propelled their playoff run. I don't see it happening this week, though. Give me Green Bay's kind of weird. They're a good team, but there's some still flaws there. I would not put them in the level of Detroit.
Oh, turnovers.
Yeah,
Love has a ton of turnovers.
I want to put them in the level of Detroit and Philadelphia at this point right now. But they're a tier 2 team in the NFC. Give me Detroit to win this game and a get-right game.
Yeah, shout out to Heather who's watching who said go Detroit. I think I'm taking Detroit also. I'm taking them at home. The line again is just minus 3.5 for Detroit. I'm taking them at home on a fantastic Thursday night game. Now we're going to move on to Sunday's games. We're going to start off talking about Jacksonville at Tennessee. Probably one of the worst games of the whole season
in the history of the NFL.
Tennessee favored by 3.5.
I don't even have a lot to say here.
What are we doing here?
What's his name's obviously out because he took a big vicious shot. There's a lot of discussion on that, you know, how pulling up and changing the rules, and I saw all kinds of ridiculous suggestions or whatever. My thoughts are if a guy's running,
come on.
If a guy's running with the ball, he's running with the ball. Once you cross the line of scrimmage, in my opinion,
totally
all the gloves are off and play football. I actually think that's. I think we're actually getting some of these late sliding hits and haymakers laid out because the quarterbacks aren't protecting themselves. They're giving themselves up, but then the defender is not paying attention to that and laying them out. But what if everybody plays? It's like a boxer. You keep your gloves up all the time. The bell rings. You don't put your guard down.
Yeah.
No, right?
Exactly.
You got to keep your guard up all the time. Right. You put your guard down, boom, and you're knocked out.
And
that's what's happening. So, anyway, I take Tennessee here. Jacksonville doesn't have a quarterback. They don't have a football team, so I'm going to go with Tennessee. But, yeah, let the quarterbacks play.
Yeah, the pick of bad teams. I'm picking Tennessee too.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume Lawrence is out for this game, even though he says okay. Tennessee's been kind of.
I don't think it matters.
How can he, you know, with their protocol, how can he come in after that?
Yeah, you're well versed in the concussion protocol, being a Dolphins fan. So speak freely.
Are we surprised that Doug Peterson's still the coach of this team right now?
Different people. Apparently.
Are we still surprised Peterson has a job? I mean, I'm still a little shocked they haven't fired him yet. But anyway, give me Tennessee here at home. Tennessee has at times will win a game they probably shouldn't win. Although this is a game they should win. Yeah, give me Tennessee win this game at home. Win the rare games.
What is worse than shame of the week? Do you have a worse saying than that, Noah?
Lame of the week.
The lame of the week.
I like that.
Lame.
Yeah.
This game's lame.
Lame of the
like
week.
Coming in, limping in, like fully lame.
Very good.
At Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3.5. I'm taking
from
Tennessee
the hip, Noah, right? From the hip.
Right.
If we have to pick one of these
lyrical
teams,
gangster.
let's just go with Tennessee. Yvette says, "Hey, Tom Brady discussed that this week."
Yeah, with the quarterback. Yeah, they were discussing it extensively. So. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not what it is right now.
If Brady's saying that, you know it's something.
Oh.
So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're moving on to what used to be a great rivalry: Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 6.
Again, so it didn't work last week. I'm not allowed to pick Miami. I don't think it mattered what I pick, and it's only weird if it doesn't work. But I'm not picking Miami again. They're at home. They like to beat up on bad teams, but I don't think the Jets are fully a bad team.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're fully a
yeah,
bad
really.
They're terrible.
They are.
Okay, I think they can't. A bad team is a team that doesn't have players. The Jets have players. They're not putting it together. Mm-hmm. So they're bad teammates. Bad coaches, bad organization, the whole thing. But is the team bad? Like, let me get out there. Let me rally the troops and get out there. Put a good coach in there. Put Belichick in there. Is the team bad if he goes and coaches? No, the team probably wins the game. They have the players, so they're not a bad team. But I'm not picking Miami. I just can't. I just can't. I'm not confident in the way they do things. There's something deep-rooted wrong in the way their offensive defensive line needs to be a focus. And it's not. And, I think it's going to be at least it'll be 75 degrees at kickoff, and they won't be freezing. But did you look at the videos of the Dolphins pregame where they're walking around, and they all bundled up, and they're literally walking like and they're doing this, and they're freezing, and it's a weird look. And then the other team, the guy has his shirt off, and he's running around, and he's sweating, and his shirt's off, and it's icicles on his everywhere.
They said they should
everywhere. So,
they should have went there a couple of days earlier to get acclimated to the cold.
Yeah, there's no solution for that. They're not built for that. They're not. So whatever Miami does, they can win out, and they're a 10% chance of making the playoffs. But they're not going to. I like the Jets here, and the Jets getting points. I like it even more, so I'm going to take the Jets.
We already have a Dolphins fan, crying for Daniels to be fired.
You sure?
Yeah. What do you say about this?
Chris Greer should be fired.
Okay.
Really? We've had this offensive line. Yeah, we've had this offensive line problem for 3 years now. He hasn't fixed it. The team's not tough because the offensive line.
I'll tell you why the team's not tough. Okay, take 2 coaches. Take McDaniel, and then take Detroit's coach, Campbell.
Oh, man, Campbell.
Wait, is there a reason? Does a team not take on the personality of their coach? They do these things, and McDaniel's like, oh, whatever. Like, let me hit the vape on it, and he's got his thing, and he's freezing on the sidelines, and they pick up on that. So is there like? But you have Dan Campbell, and you have the kicker, and he's all fired up, ready to hit somebody because Dan Campbell gets him in the attitude. I agree. I think McDaniel is a big part of this thing. So you can talk about Greer all day, but if your coach is soft, I think the team's soft. I mean, even Sirianni, he'll fight somebody. He might lose, but he'll fight Dan Campbell. I don't think Mike McDaniel's going to fight anybody.
Actually, he's a bad rep, I think. Sirianni.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
What's your pick?
Dolphins.
Of course.
Are we going anywhere else?
I think we need to we need to appreciate that we could be seeing the last Aaron Rodgers in an NFL uniform.
Oh, he gone
week to week. I don't see anybody touching him. The best chance of him playing football next year is back in New York. Okay, so we could be seeing the last of Aaron Rodgers week to week from this point on.
Which New York?
Well, no. He ain't gonna stop. No. We don't want that. No. That said, Dolphins win this game, but give me Jets on the points. Rivalry game. This will be a close one, I think. I think the Jets will show up because it's a rivalry game, and these teams do hate each other, but the Dolphins are a better team at this point. Yes, Jets have better players probably, but it ain't working, dude. You're a bad team. Accept it.
Yeah, with the points, Miami being favored by 6 at home, I'm actually going to take the Jets on the road here, too. Yvette's last words are he's more concerned with his oversized shoes.
Dude, that guy's weird.
Who's that? Who?
He's got a sneaker fetish.
He wears sneakers that are 5 sizes too big because he can't find it. What's the next game?
Yeah.
Really?
He's a big sneaker guy, yeah.
Next game.
Okay. Moving on.
Now we're moving on to Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota favored at home by 5.5.
All right. Is Minnesota like the bad version of Minnesota that they keep winning games like they do years and then they travel to Philly and I watch it and they just get blown out? Are they that or are they really good?
Correct.
I like to hear everybody's opinion. I like to hear opinions on this. Minnesota wins this one. But I'm not sure
it's the same
where to put them.
2 years ago where they win these one-score games. And then last year they didn't win the one-score games, and they were trash.
Right.
They're winning the one-score games again
One-score
this
games
year.
are trouble.
To your point, that same 2022 Minnesota team was -5 point differential at 13-4 record. So that's something to look at.
Yeah, I'd like to. Maybe I'll bring the plus
They're
minus.
They're going to beat up on Atlanta, but
yeah. So I'm going Minnesota. What do you guys say?
Yep, Minnesota.
The Kirk Cousins return tour to Minnesota. He was playing like the standing ovation probably. Look, Atlanta's they're sinking fast. I already told y'all Tampa's coming, and Tampa's going to take the division.
Oh, I didn't even weigh that part. He might be coming with a vengeance.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-oh.
Kirk coupons, yes.
You like that? You like that?
I don't know, man. Minnesota's a good team. They're a good team. They're not much like Green Bay. They're not on level with Philadelphia and Detroit in the conference. But they are a good team. Yeah, you do see signs of 2022 a little bit. But I think they're a little bit more rounded on the edges than 2 years ago. That said, I do like Minnesota in this game, but I think Atlanta on the points. I think Kirk Cousins will have a motivated game. He'll play. This is the trends now. He has a bad game one week and good game next week. This is the good game trend. But I think overall Minnesota's a better team than win this game. So give me Atlanta points though, but Minnesota wins.
I'm taking Minnesota this game. Shout out to Ferris, who's also checking in on Twitch. If you're watching, get in the chat. And,
hey, Ferris.
You got anything you guys want to say? Ask any questions to our experts here.
Steamed.
Experts.
Now we're going to move on to the next game, which is it's a barn burner here. It's New Orleans at the Giants. New Orleans goes in favored by 5.
How?
Next.
Why don't we?
What are you doing?
We should skip these
Thank
games,
you.
like some of these things. So, the Giants
This
stink.
week
New
was a
Orleans
wash.
isn't
I'm
good.
not watching it.
New Orleans lost Hill, right? He's
up in a
out
year.
now. Yeah,
Up in a year.
he got
He's gone.
smoked this week. And he's the best player and he's a difference maker. But I'm trying to look at New York and they're going to start. Who's starting this week, Ernest?
DeVito.
I
it
think
DeVito?
so.
Let's go,
We've
DeVito.
been-
All right, if
So does it
DeVito
matter?
starts, I'm taking DeVito, the Italian, just this week because New Orleans is in bad shape right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Both of these teams, I got New Orleans. They beat bad teams, but I'm not watching this game.
And you would be right to pick New Orleans this game. But I'm taking Giants on the points here. New Orleans is bad. Giants are worse. The worst team in football, in my opinion.
No, they're not.
Who's worse than the Giants right now? The Jets?
Carolina's pretty bad.
No, stop. Carolina?
Carolina's been playing
Carolina almost
pretty
beat
good.
Kansas City and Tampa
Yeah.
back-to-back weeks.
Okay.
And Bryce Young's playing better football, too, for the record. This is the record. Look, the Giants stink.
I'm
man.
happy for that kid.
I don't care if it's Drew Lock, Jeff
DeVito,
Hostetler, Phil
Drew
Simms. Matter.
Carey.
The Giants are done. Drew Carey, yeah. Give me Giants to the points with the Saints win this game. Come on.
I love the conversation we have on this show where we have two guys arguing about who the worst team is, and that's just amazing.
That's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at with the Giants, and I'm taking them at home. I'm
Don't
going
do
with
that.
the Giants.
Don't do that.
I'm going with the Giants because
They'll
New Orleans
lose.
is coming in banged up and favored by 5 here. I'm going with the Giants at home. Next, we move on to Carolina at Philadelphia. Philly favored right now by 12.
Take 'em.
Ernest is glazing on
Take
Philly
Philly.
lately.
Oh,
So,
there's some glaze.
ooh,
No.
are we okay?
2 touchdowns.
So we talk about these marginal wins, these 1-point wins or whatever, but we're seeing something a little bit different in Philly, and I'm here for every second of it. And yeah, I don't see any chance Carolina going into Philly and beating Philly the way they're rolling along. Even if we play a bad game, we haven't been playing great. We don't even start until the second quarter. We don't even play the first quarter at all. I see Philadelphia doing what they do, even the ground and pound. So a good team can punish a bad team, even if they have a bad week, if they could run the ball. Because you run the ball, there's very little variance in that. You just run the ball, you get 5 yards, and run the ball, you get 5 yards. Carolina doesn't have an answer for any of that.
No.
The offensive line should feast. We could see another 200 yards by Saquon. So I'm going with Philly and the only birds in the NFL.
The only-
The only birds.
Yeah, I'm taking Philly. They're going to win by probably 21.
Carolina's been kind
Their
of
offense is just on fire right now.
Yeah, they are.
Can't stop them.
Not only that, their defense is not getting enough love right now. Probably the best team right now in football currently playing. Carolina's been kind of frisky last couple weeks, though, like we just mentioned a while ago.
Frisky.
Yeah, very
Frisky.
frisky. Very spicy. Was it spicy?
Frisky
said
only
spicy?
gets
Yeah.
you so far against Tampa
Exactly.
and Kansas
You could
City.
be frisky all day. You
Yeah.
still get smoked.
Yeah, but look, Philadelphia's on the heater right now. They're probably the second best team in football right now. Give me the Eagles to cover this, and even if they play down competition, they should be able to cover 12.5 points.
Yeah, 12 points is a lot, but I'm taking Philly at home. We had somebody check it in. Yvette saying Noah wore a cat toy shark hat.
It was a joke at first. I was like, oh, maybe you could change the luck. This looks like a helmet. I put it on my head, and then the Eagles start lighting it up.
Are there pictures of this?
So then I proceeded to wear it for it's
Are
a
there
long
photos of
story.
this?
No,
Rally
it's
caps.
not coming.
Oh, that's photo. Oh,
We're not going to do that. Go ahead.
really? Come on.
We're going to show that next
Come on,
week on the
Yvette.
show.
We're not doing that.
I think we're all taking the Eagles here.
Send it.
Now we're going to move on to a good rivalry game, one game that I feel like we just talked about 2 weeks
This-
ago, and that
What a
is Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
What a treasure Winston is posting.
love
Heal
He's
me
like,
my
best.
pick sixes.
He's like, I want the good Lord to save me from these pick sixes. Like, and I don't know if he's kidding or if his brain's scrambled. Like the stuff he says, that guy,
That dude's
man,
hilarious.
he's something else. It's like must-see TV. It's like it's wild.
But I'll tell you what, the team responds to him,
Unlike
though.
Rodgers, the team does respond to
him,
him.
and to his point,
100%.
And this-
They do, but he's that guy. He could win a game and lose a game. And he's slinging it. He's like the Brett Favre. He's chucking that thing, and he has an
chuck it,
arm,
literally.
and he doesn't care who catches it. I think he broke the record for most yards receiving, but when they added in the pick sixes, he had like 8 touchdowns because everybody was scoring when he threw the ball. Even on defense, everybody's scoring. So it was pretty interesting. I think he could be a little bit of a menace, if you will. He's a menace, that guy. Like, when you play him, he's a menace. Cleveland at Pittsburgh, what's the line on this one?
6.5.
I'm going to take Cleveland and the menace that is Winston and going in, and he's going to do something goofy up there, but I'm here for it. Let's see what happens.
I'm here for it, too. I'm taking Cleveland and the points.
This is actually hard to pick. I'll take Cleveland the points here as well. By the way, James Winston's. Look, I'll take him right now over Aaron Rodgers.
They're not winning, but I'm taking the points.
Yeah, I agree. Pittsburgh is weird. Pittsburgh is a team to watch though, because we mentioned earlier about as we get to December, January, and the weather and traveling and conditions and stuff. This team is built to
could be
play
another
that way.
6-field goal game by Boswell.
Right, exactly. And I think Pittsburgh's one of those teams that can go to Kansas City and make things interesting, or go to Buffalo and make things interesting. So, while I wouldn't put them on the level of those teams just yet, keep an eye on the Steelers going forward. Give me the Steelers win this game overall, but give me the Browns on points.
Okay, with being favored by 6.5, we have Renee checking in saying we all should pick the Steelers in this game.
Well, I'm picking to win the game.
Nobody seems to
We're picking to win the game,
but
not the points, though.
I mean, as a newfound Steeler fan for the last 2 months, I have my horrible towel and I'm shaking it around.
Horrible towel.
Oh no,
terrible.
The terrible towel.
The crying towel.
Damn, ridiculous towel.
Okay, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh
Horrible
at home.
towels. That's neat. I like that.
Exactly.
Horrible towels.
So 2 weeks ago, we saw Cleveland upset Pittsburgh in that snowy, what is that, a Thursday night game?
Correct.
I think this is a payback game. Pittsburgh at home, favored by 6.5. I think they win this one. Now we're going to move on to talk about the last 1 o'clock game of the week. With the Jacksonville at Tennessee, your lame of the week, this is probably your shame of the week. Las Vegas at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by 6.5.
Tampa was supposed to lose this week.
Come on, Baker.
But they didn't lose.
I know, but they were supposed to lose. They lost, and then
Baker willed them.
No,
This
the other team made mistakes or whatever. This guy, I can't deal with this guy, but he has enough to get it done. Las Vegas. Okay, you want the other team that stinks, Earnest, or is close? There it is. It's right there on the screen. Las Vegas is really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. They don't even have a neighbors, the wide receiver. They don't even have a guy that you're like, okay, this guy's going to be the future or whatever. They don't have that guy. They are terrible. And I know they were able to put on, be competitive this week, but it's just not it. I'm going with Tampa Bay. I don't want to, but I got to pick Baker and Tampa Bay this week. But yeah, Las Vegas stinks.
Yep, I'm going Tampa. I love Baker. I love how he plays. He's another guy that every teammate loves playing with. Mm-hmm. He should have stayed in Cleveland.
He's a menace too.
Yep.
That guy.
Yeah, unlike Noah being a hater on Baker.
And he's good in commercials.
He is pretty good. No, he's good. And as I told you guys 2 weeks ago, they're getting healthy right time. Atlanta's starting to fall apart. Know it now. Tampa's the favorite to win the South now, which they will, I believe.
Mike Evans.
Like I said, Tampa is going to win one of those teams that, look, they have wins over Philly and Detroit this year. They are a very weird. They are a very weird team that week to week can surprise you.
Mike Evans.
They beat Detroit week 1, right?
Week two.
All right, and then
it still
beat
counts,
Philly
right?
Philly.
It still counts, right? It's still on the
yeah,
okay.
count
So
it.
making sure.
Count it.
Yeah, I think
They must have saved that game.
I'm not saying they're on level with these teams, but they are capable of winning a game against teams that are clearly better than they are. So they're going to be very dangerous in playoffs coming forward, because they will make the playoffs. Give me Tampa to win this game in the cover, because the Raiders suck.
Mike Evans, 12 straight years with 1,000 yards to start his career.
Yeah, Hall of Fame, first ballot.
Yeah, the Raiders are terrible.
And you're a Raider fan.
I was a Raider fan.
We was.
He's
Oakland.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Now I'm a big Pittsburgh fan, born and raised.
He was a
Quitter.
In the Berg.
Yesterday, one of the best employees, he's a host in the poker room, big Raiders fan. You guys know him very well. Yeah, and he came up to me.
Jamari.
And he came up and showed me his Raider socks. I was like, put those away. Don't show anybody. Like, they're going to think things of you. That's such a terrible, horrible team. Like, nobody wants to talk about them. The Raiders are, honestly, I think they're the worst team in the league. But I'm taking Tampa Bay at home, again, favored by 6.5.
Come on, Shador.
Now
it's competitive.
Now let's talk about the 4:05 games. Seattle at Arizona. Arizona favored by 2.5.
Ooh, it's a fun game.
So, okay, we just had this a couple weeks ago, right?
Literally 2 weeks ago, literally.
Literally, yeah, that's what I just said.
Yep.
Okay, so we just had this. Let me try this again. All right, so we just had this a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks.
2
Take
weeks
two.
to be exact. Okay, anyway, and Seattle against everybody. It was like, oh, Seattle can't. Well, now Seattle's on the road at Arizona, but I think you have the same thing. I think you have the wild card. That's Murray back there with his little toddler legs and all that stuff, and he's gonna be running around doing all this stuff.
Here we go.
So adorable.
It's so cute. It's like my grandson. He's like he's about 1. And he has that little walker thing that you put him in there, and he runs around the house in the thing, and he looks just like Kyler Murray. I came around the corner. Is it Kyler Murray? I was like, I asked him for his autograph at one point. He's like, let me get your autograph, kid. Yeah. But I think Seattle is a little better. They're like that sneaky good, that they're okay, that they're not terrible. Yeah, I won't use that word, but they're a little bit sneaky, and Arizona's an underachiever, if you will. I think they underachieve a lot of ways. So I don't love any side really strong on this, but I think Seattle getting points. I think you take them.
I'm taking Arizona at home. Their defense has been playing good. Kyler Murray's bound to have another one of those games.
Yeah, they bet 2 weeks ago in a game after Arizona would win off a bye, and then they lost 16-6, which is weird in itself. I think look, I don't trust Seattle, and NFC West still really.
You didn't trust them last time either, remember?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then they do what they do. Yeah, and then they'll if I buy into them this week, they'll end up losing anyway. So. Look, Arizona, get right game for them. They'll win this game. They'll cover. Seattle, I don't trust them. NFC West still wide open. The Rams are hanging around there too, also, especially. So give me the Cardinals to win this game.
You love that get right game. I don't think this fits in the category when you have two teams that are even matched.
I am the king of cliches, Noah Carbone.
Yeah, but the cliche is missing on this one.
Well, they need to get right, or else the season's over pretty much. Because if Seattle wins this game,
it's a division game.
Seattle, listen. Seattle wins this game. They beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Buffalo plays the Rams. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Seattle has the division wrapped up probably at this point if this all plays out this weekend. So, just saying.
Yeah, I'm taking Arizona at home in a get-right game. The last time they played, obviously, was in Seattle. We know Seattle with the 12th man. It's a little more difficult to play there. I'm taking Arizona at home, again, favored by 2.5.
Yeah, speaking of get right, make sure you get right and hit that save button when you make your picks this week.
Already did. 3 times today, buddy.
Get right. That's his get right picks.
Right. Yeah.
Now we move on to a game, Buffalo at the Rams. Buffalo goes in favored by 4.5, and we got to talk
Wasn't
about
that the sexiest play ever?
I know he's very upset about this. Josh Allen just got engaged this week.
Yeah,
it
was
so
a
bad.
super.
And he got a reception touchdown.
Did you cry?
Yeah, we shed tears at our house. It's like it was a full my kid is in there and like she's in there crying and she's crying on her pillow and I'm like, what's going on? I thought like she had a boyfriend. She broke up. She did. Like Josh Allen literally went with the other Haley, picked her, and now they're getting married.
No!
And it's like, there was hope until then. We'll get through this somehow. But he's still our guy. He's still going to be our guy. Man, can he play football? They did that. And I have him on my fantasy team, which is awesome. He got a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown on the same play. Nobody else can do that. Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the only guy who could do anything close to that. Your quarterback's not doing that.
That was a backwards pass. How is that a receiving touchdown?
It doesn't matter. Just give it. I'm here for it. I'm here. He scored 10 points on one play. Nobody in the NFL has ever done that. Scored 2 touchdowns on one play in fantasy football. What an amazing thing. I'm here for it. Yeah, Buffalo MVP, they're back and forth with Saquon or whatever, but right now Josh Allen's doing everything he can to try to lock that thing in.
He doesn't have the turnovers that he's had in years past.
Only has 5 this year.
That's the difference.
For him, it's a lot.
And he was being talked about MVP when he was throwing picks, and now he's really being talked about being the MVP.
Yeah.
My kid even says she says it's rigged if he doesn't win the MVP. Now, Buffalo at Los Angeles. Los Angeles it's a little bit tricky. They're not an easy out. Their receivers are really good if they're both playing, which I think they are. So you're traveling all the way across the country. You're going all the way. But Buffalo is going to fill that stadium. They're going to be doing that chant. They do that thing. What is it? They like
hashtag Bills Mafia.
Like no, they have this chant and yeah, hey, and they're going to take over. You're going to hear that. How many points we have here?
4.5.
Not enough.
Yeah, that's not enough. I like Buffalo to go and handle business, but this is when you talk about get right games, this doesn't fall in that category. This falls in the okay, be careful, don't slip up game. That's what this one is.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo.
Really, is a Dolphin fan?
Like I said, man, he's not turning. Josh isn't turning the ball over. They're playing good, complementary football. Defense is playing good. I don't think the Rams have a shot.
Well, yes, it's actually this is a potential trap game for the Bills, but look, Buffalo's they're on a mission. They're all business right now. They are right now, in my opinion, number one in my rankings right now. I think they'll continue to roll.
Trap games usually happen to people that aren't really there. Buffalo has gone through defeat the last few years.
But I'm saying for this
they
year,
know
the
how
Rams,
to play.
the Rams. They're a strange team. They can win a game sometimes out of nowhere, but no, Buffalo's on a mission here. I just trust them. I know 4.5 feel like a lot of points, but yeah, Buffalo's on a roll right now. They're on a heater. Give me Buffalo cover.
Yeah, I agree with Oaks Poker consistency, and that's why I think Buffalo wins on the road again, going into the LA Rams, favored by 4.5. Now we're moving on to Chicago at San Francisco. San Francisco is favored by 4.
Oh boy,
it's more like, what are you going to get? San Fran doesn't have any players left.
No,
They're all out of players. Super Bowl hangover, nightmare. Like, that whole thing is like they had all this. And it started 2 years ago when Philly stopped a run. And then last year they have a, don't forget, 17-point lead or something ridiculous in the Super Bowl. And they just melt down. And they may never recover from that. They may never recover from that. This year they're not recovering. They're not getting it done. Chicago's at San Fran. I think Chicago is going to do that weird thing where somebody gets canned and then all of a sudden everybody decides to start playing football to like win one for the Gipper. And they're going to go in there and win this one. I'm taking Chicago. They're going to get them all fired up. Be like, yes, that guy's gone. He was a goofball. He didn't know and he didn't love me and he didn't coach me up. Watch us now. And then they go and light it up. And then the interim coach looks like a hero, and the team's just going out there. Teams stop playing for coaches. They do. They do it all the time. They're doing it. I think they're doing it in New York. They're not playing for that guy anymore.
Which New York? Which New York?
Both New Yorks.
Both of them?
Both of them. Both New Yorks are not playing, so I think that's the same situation here. I think Chicago comes out, and they're going to be firing it off. I'm going to take Chicago here. I like it a lot.
I'm taking San Fran. I don't know if the coaching has anything to do with it. Caleb Williams, even in USC, has always been somebody that will take some chances and lose some games.
He's back home now. He'll be back in Southern Cal. Yeah.
Chicago has found a way to lose games this year, unprecedented. So they're going to lose this one too.
Oh no, man! The body count of the Niners are bad. It's really, really bad. Oh no, but I'll take the Niners on pride.
Still got George Kittle.
You still got George Kittle. Brock Purdy is still playing. I mean, I know McCaffrey's out for a year, or at least 6 weeks, whatever it may be.
Forever.
You still got the kid Jordan. Was it Jordan?
No, Mason's
out.
out.
He's out.
He's out too.
IR too. Yeah.
Don't spoil my stardom of the week.
That's why I miss Guerrero.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Jesus. Okay.
Damn clowns. Oh, excuse me.
Can't use clown on here.
Okay. Are we really trusting Chicago on the road here to do this?
No,
I'm not.
No.
I'll take San Francisco on pride.
Put me down as lock of the week now because all you guys are
stop.
Lock it up.
Oh, Keenan Allen gets
with McCaffrey out for the season now.
Yeah.
He only played 4 games, probably the number 1 pick in fantasy football history. And now with Jordan Mason also on the IR, probably most likely for the rest of the season. They got Guerrero starting, which he showed he's a usable running back. But I'm taking Chicago on the road here. I'm taking the Bears. And now we're moving on to the Sunday night game. That is Chargers at
Here we go.
the Chiefs.
So the primetime games are great. So we got the Thursday night is a barn burner. Then this one's an amazing game. All right. So this is Tim, who's in our pick pool. This is his
first place.
This is his. He's in. Okay, he says if they win this game, if his Chargers win this game, he's in for the rest of the season. If they lose, he's out. And he does this every year. His team wins, he's back in. If they lose, he's out. If a team wins, he's back in. If they lose, he's out. So this is a big game for him. Kansas City is primed to lose a game. Ernest been talking about forever.
You're pulling on me now. There you go.
Yeah, no, there's teams that are going in there and losing games and when they should win, and they've been getting away with it. I think that trend may end here, and I'm going to take the Chargers here. I think Herbert does enough to get the win.
I'm taking the Chargers with the points because Kansas City is 4-7-1 against the spread. I still think Kansas City may win by 1, but I'm taking the Chargers.
The luck, the referees, what you want to call it. No, the Chargers. The Chargers always give the Chiefs
calling out the NFL.
No, I'm just saying.
On our podcast,
I'm just saying things. I'm saying things.
Check your email, producer, because they're getting hammered.
But historically speaking, for the last couple of years,
Ernest to get fined.
The Chargers always get the Chiefs issues. Even when the Chargers are bad, they can Chiefs issues.
Well, everybody in that division does. Even the Raiders give them problems, but they still lose.
Right, and as I said, weeks and weeks ago, that the Chiefs will lose some games here, and this will be one of the games they'll lose. I had this game earmarked for weeks as like potential games that they will lose when they're unbeaten.
You got proof of that?
I do. This show.
Yeah.
This show. Going on demand.
On demand.
On YouTube. On YouTube, Twitch, all that.
Which week?
I don't know. Many weeks. I said
every week. He says
every week. That's right. No.
One of these weeks is going to be right.
The Chiefs will get caught sleeping here. Give me the Chargers to win this game outright. And I just think that this is where the Buffalo Bills become the #1 seed after this week.
I think Sunday night, it's in Kansas City. You're going to get Taylor Swift up there waving to everybody.
They should be there?
She's got to be there.
Shake it.
Yeah, she's going to be
Jason
there.
Jason Kelsey will be there.
Jason Kelsey, Kylie Kelsey.
Shirt off, though?
Mama Kelsey.
Shirt off,
yeah, I'll bring the Funko next week. I got the shirt off. Jason Kelsey Funko. I got it, and he's like,
that's amazing, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Yeah. The producers just said NFL called. They said cancel Earnest's podcast check this week. He doesn't get it. Okay. So you don't get your zero that you get every week. You're not getting it this week. No zeros for you, Ernest.
No, you're going to owe him money this week.
Yeah, you owe us.
It's rigged.
I'm taking Kansas City at home. I think this is that game where they transform into that playoff team that we all know and dislike so much.
Well, you just like it. I like it.
That's that team I think we're going to see this week in Kansas City on a Sunday night game. They're favored by 4 at home. I think they're winning this one and proving a point. And now we're moving on to Monday night's game. Cincinnati at Dallas. Cincy favored by 5.
So we talk about, great prime time. Then you have this stinker thrown in there. And it's only stinks because Dallas and then Cincinnati's defense. So the good thing is that Joe Burrow doesn't stink, and he's going to throw 5 touchdowns, and he's going to light Dallas up at home. Dallas is going to lose again at home. If you want to go see a Dallas game, now's the time. I think, they have 900,000 seats in that stadium. You can get a ticket for like $4 or something. Probably wants to go.
But the plane ticket is the problem.
Yeah, I'll watch just for their demise, just to watch Dallas get finished off here.
Enjoy that, don't you?
Finish him.
I think the over/under on Joe Burrow touchdowns will be 2.5, and I'll take the over on that. So I'm here for it. I think that there's a chance records could be broken here with how bad they're playing. Dallas is playing right now. I'm taking Cincinnati, but on paper at the beginning of the year, you'd be like, oh, this is a good game, but this is the way the NFL goes. You got to win games, and neither of these teams can get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm taking Dallas with the points. Like I said, Cincinnati's defense is all-time bad. Joe Burrow might get 3-4 touchdowns, but they're going to give up just as many.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jacob. Dallas on the points here. Is this actually can you have a watchable bad game?
No.
Like
if there's actually points, we can watch it.
Like Joe Burrow's fun to watch. It shows that offense.
I don't want to watch a 3-6 bad teams, but I could watch a.
Oh, we got reasons to watch it. Mike will go over that in a second.
Reasons to watch this game?
Yeah, you do. When you get into the bet thing, yeah.
Bengals window, obviously, now with the being 4-8, they're done, obviously, for the year. The super window with this core right now is closed. Don't be surprised Joe Burrow asked for a trade in 2 years. Don't be surprised. That being said, we know why, because the ownership sucks.
They mismanaged.
Mike Brown is horrible. Worst owner in football. Horrible. He's cheap. Okay? And 2 years. I'm telling you, 2 years. You heard it here first.
Wow,
Joe Burrow asked for a trade 2 years.
We are getting canceled for sure.
I don't
He's
care.
going after owner,
We'd be
GMs,
okay.
and
Mike Brown
NFL and
sucks.
the referees.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Dallas on the points here. Bengals win. Dallas on the points.
I'm taking the Bengals on the road here. This is one of those games that should have been a much better game. I think the Simpsons are doing something with this game, too. Which
Yes.
I did see
I'll
that.
be watching that.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why they didn't push this game off
2
to
minutes.
another day is because they already started the animation
Just
on
see
it.
what it's about.
But I'm taking
Just see what it's about.
Cincy on the road. In this game right here. And while we're talking about this, let's talk about the best place to watch all these games, and that is Feast and Football in the Paddock Restaurant.
Yummy.
This is a place where you're going to see all those Sunday games, even the shame ones, even the lame ones, all the games
Jaguars,
right
Titans.
here at Feast and Football. And Bet Sports Now is powered by Hard Rock Bet. If you want to bet, go to pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet. That's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. You got to be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. And I think Noah has
I got something.
his own
The
story.
coolest thing about this thing, right?
Yeah, he's
so
got
this
a
is fun.
story.
So you talk about, what game you could bet on games that you don't want to watch or whatever. I had the coolest thing this week. So I'm watching the Eagles game. They come out, they're down by 9 right away. And I'm like, damn. I was like, why do we start so slow? We should be able to win this game or whatever. Yeah. So did you know that you can go on during a game and bet the game as it's taking place and they adjust the odds. So the Eagles are down 9. I'm like, we can win this game. I went on there. I like anger bet, and I bet $10 because they're down 9. I got crazy odds, and we ended up winning. And for $10, I got 50 because we were down 9 points. Did you know you could do that?
They call it live betting.
What's that called?
Absolute,
live betting.
Yeah, live betting is my number one.
Is it really?
When it comes to betting, whether it's college basketball, whether it's college football, you see a ranked team in college basketball, and they're down by 7 early on, and you go in there and you bet $20, $10 on to win. They usually come back. Same thing with college football, but exactly what Noah has done is exactly what my favorite part of betting on Hard Rock Bet is. And again, if you want more information, go to pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet for more information on betting on
live
these games.
betting. That's cool.
It's so much fun. It really is. Now we're going to talk about our fantasy football tips and stardom and sit-em for this week, week number 12.
All right, so I did some research, and this guy, Isaac Garendo.
Who?
Jacob will tell you about him. He missed him on his pickup because some team that's already – he'll tell you a story. Anyway, he's a running back for San Fran. He's going to start this week, and he should be able to light it up because they got nothing else. So I'm going to go with him as a start, and then I'm going to sit Pacheco because the Chargers still have a pretty good defense, and I think they'll be able to contain him a little bit. I think he's coming back, but I don't think he's 100%. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Yep. Okay, go ahead, Jacob. Who do you like?
Yeah, I like the Garendo start. I would sit. Oh man, my bad. I didn't study for this one.
Let me go quick and while you look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my stardom this week will be Jared Goff on tomorrow night. As I told Noah a little while ago, get right game for the Lions and for Jared Goff. And then my sit-em this week will be same vein as Noah here, but different guy. Justin Herbert against the Chiefs.
Okay.
Jacob, you ready to go?
I like that. Yeah, Justin Herbert. Stardom, Garendo, Sit-em.
The Giants.
No, the Rams.
Let's go away. The Giants.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah. I think everybody. Garendo was the number one waiver wire pickup that nobody that I know ended up getting on their team this week. But my stardom is Rico from the Cowboys, the starting running back. I think he runs all over Cincinnati this week. He actually had 100 yards last game and a touchdown. And my sit-em this week will be Jordan Love against the Detroit Lions at home. So that's my stardom sit-em for week number 4. Now we're going to move on to our next portion of the show, and that is the weekly poll. The weekly poll for last week was which of these teams are going to make the playoffs. Bunch of homers.
It's a regional thing. This shows our regional listeners, Dolphins, and then a lot of people in San Fran listen.
People clearly don't read the standings apparently because the Dolphins right now are 3 back of the wild card.
They got a 10% chance to make it right now.
Yeah,
less than that was 10 before they got smoked by Green Bay.
Who there is making the playoffs?
But if you listen to me,
if
you listen to me like last week, I told you guys.
Listen.
Okay, what did I say last week? I said the Colts,
the
Rams,
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Rams or 49ers could win their division.
Right. Seahawks are not.
Miami has no chance.
Miami's
out.
the only team
Miami's
out.
Bengals is done.
Miami's out.
The winner of one free buffet in the paddock was Bradley Cornelius.
Who did Mr. Cornelius vote for?
Cornelius, I think you could actually have voted for multiple teams because that's how I put the poll. So,
where's the fun in that?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a couple of teams that are going to make the playoffs.
Vote multiple.
So, Bradley Cornelius, congrats.
Okay, for the presidential election, you can get multiple votes.
Can we do that?
Some people.
Wait, you couldn't do that?
Some people say that does happen, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
That's the problem. This week's poll question is: who's this year's MVP right now?
Nice tease though from earlier.
It's a 2-man race between Saquon and
Josh Allen. Saquon. Josh Allen right now, if you look at the Hard Rock Bet app, is the overwhelming favorite. Saquon Barkley. Then we move on to Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts.
We put that MVP Lamar Jackson to rest this week out there.
Yeah,
I think so.
We put that to sleep.
5-6 games they lost. I agree. Josh Allen.
Saquon. It is Josh Allen. It is a 2-man race, but I think Saquon. It should be closer than what Hard Rock.
Yeah, but they're going to give it to Allen.
This game's going to be big.
When was the last time a running back won MVP?
AP.
Yeah.
AP.
Man, Philly's going to burn. That town's going to burn down if it goes through.
Saquon's on pace to beat the rush record.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, is that Buffalo lost players before the year started.
With an extra game, too. Like,
but true. Good point.
Right, and then, go further is very few teams in the league right now rely on one back. It's a running back by committee, and the game has changed there also. Mm-hmm. When Dickerson got the record, he was getting every single touch. So it's different now. It's a different game.
But Josh Allen, the Bills lost Stephon Diggs, a couple players, and they are surging without those guys. So
that's big. Yeah. Now we're going to move on to talk about something that's going to go on in the paddock this weekend. As Noah mentioned last week, Jacob added this week, we are the Rat Pack here on the show. Obviously, I'm Sammy Davis Jr.
I'm Frank Sinatra.
Wait, who are you?
I'm Sammy Davis now. He's Frank Sinatra, and you are Dean Martin.
Yeah,
so.
Clearly.
But Rat Pack Christmas is coming up this Friday night.
I see the resemblance there. You and Sammy. I see the resemblance.
Don't I look exactly like Sammy Davis Jr.? I could see it perfectly. But they're going to be here this Friday night. Big live band.
Crooners, right? That's what they call them.
They're going to be amazing. Yeah, singing all the Christmas hits. I'm sure they're going to sing some of their hits from Dean Martin. Of course, Frank Sinatra. Tony Sands is the guy on the far right here. He does Frank Sinatra, and he's one of the best ones out there. I've seen a lot of videos of him. He is spot on singing old Blue Eyes songs.
Yeah, it's like cold weather. It's like Christmas time.
He looks like Tony Bennett too.
The tree's probably up already at home, so you load the family in the car and you come over here and you go watch.
He looks like Tony Bennett a little bit, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Little Tony Bennett as well.
We're really looking forward to these guys. This is the first time we've had this group in, Tony Sands and a full band and everything. We're really looking forward to Christmas with the Rat Pack. Tickets are selling quick, but there are a couple of seats left if you want to go on our website. Yeah, it's dinner and a show.
It's always food.
What a
That's
deal.
a 3-course meal.
No, that is good, right?
Yeah, you can't beat that, especially around the holiday season. Everybody's getting in the spirit. It's cold. It's cold in here. It's cold outside. We're all in the Christmas spirit.
It's cold.
Picks are cold.
Yeah, everything's cold. We're on ice in here. And also coming up in the paddock a little bit later this month, coming up next week, is Chris McDonald. Chris McDonald, if you don't know who that is, this is a gentleman who's been here multiple times.
That guy's like a superstar.
Oh, he's like Mr. Kennel Club. He's one of the pillars here.
The ladies love this guy.
Sells out every time.
Nuts.
We have him here for a Christmas show. We have him here for a Valentine's show, and he sells out each and every time. He is absolutely amazing. He puts on quite a show. He'll be here December 13th, which is next Friday night. Those tickets are almost sold out, so if you want to see Chris McDonald, Memories of Elvis, Merry Christmas, Baby, you better buy your tickets now. Go to our website at pbkennelclub.com.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Oh.
That was perfect.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Now we're going to move on to our favorite part of the show. That is called Quick Picks.
All right. Can we make them quick this year?
Okay, let's make them quick. Green Bay at Detroit.
I got the Packers.
Detroit.
Taking Detroit at home. Now moving on to the Sunday games. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3.5.
Yeah, I got Tennessee.
Who cares? Tennessee.
Okay, I'm taking Tennessee at home. New York Jets at Miami. Miami favored by 6.
Jets.
Suck, Miami.
Jets on the points. Dolphins win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets here on the road. Now we're moving on to Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota favored by 5.5.
I got Minnesota.
Falcons on the points. Vikings win.
Okay, I'm taking Minnesota at home. New Orleans at the Giants. New Orleans favored by 5.
New Orleans.
I forget who I pick. I got the Giants.
New Orleans.
Oh, who cares? Giants suck. Giants points. Saints win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants here. Now we're moving on to Carolina at Philadelphia. Philly favored by 12.
Yeah, Saquon goes for 300 yards.
Oh, my God.
Taking Philly.
MVP leader.
Write it down.
Hopefully not, but Philly takes this one.
Okay, I'm taking Philly at home. I really hope Saquon has like 800 yards rushing here.
I hope he has like 40.
Now we're going to move on to Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I think the divine gods will look down on Winston this week and they'll save him from his pick six. I'm going Cleveland.
Cleveland in the points.
Here's a trend again. Browns in the points.
Does that eat that W thing?
Eat it.
So weird.
Go Steelers.
Browns on the points. Steelers win. Yeah.
I'm taking my hometown Steelers here, favored by 6.5. Now moving on to Las Vegas at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay favored by 6.5.
Tampa.
Hate
it.
Maker Bayfield.
Faker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all taking Tampa in this one. Now moving on to Seattle at Arizona.
Faker Hayfield.
Arizona favored by 2.5.
I got Seattle.
Arizona.
Zona and Kyler.
Yeah, we're taking Kyler and Arizona at home, and now moving on to Buffalo at the Rams. Buffalo favored by 4.5.
This is a tough one, but I got Buffalo. But be leery of this one. But Josh Allen works his magic in his beauty in all his glory.
Does he have as much riz now that he's engaged for you?
Yeah, oh yeah, he can pull. He can. Now he shows he can pull.
Glazed
now, so,
and ready.
Glazed and that.
Buffalo, Amari Cooper gets
Is
it
it
going
hot in
this
here?
week after the pass back to Allen. He's going to get the ball a lot this week.
Hashtag Bills Mafia.
Yep, taking the Bills on the road. The most fun team to watch right now.
It is.
Now
He's the
moving
funnest.
on. Chicago at San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 4.
I got Chicago with the bounce back, fire the coach win here.
San Fran.
Broken, beaten, scarred Niners.
I'm taking Chicago on the road, and now we move on to the Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 4.
I got the Chargers here.
San Diego Superchargers.
Yeah.
San Diego Superchargers.
I think Kansas City will be in playoff form. I think they win at home. And now moving on to Monday night's game, Cincinnati at Dallas. Cincy favored by 5.
Yeah, what a bad game. I take Cincy.
Dallas.
Same trends always. Cowboys on the points. Bengals win the game.
Taking Cincy on the road. That is quick picks for week number 14 from
Relatively
PBKC Picks. Now let's talk about the end of the show, folks. What do you want to talk about this week? What are you looking forward to in week number 14?
I know we keep talking about, but momentum going into these games. So, you try not to slip up going late. And I remember, you get your hopes up and your team's doing great. And then the Eagles did what they did last year and lose 5 and then go down to Tampa, get smoked. Stay healthy and then continue to win in a consistent fashion. That's what I'm looking for in the good team. So if Buffalo could go get a win and Philly could go get their win and Kansas City, if they could pull this off, then you start really the writings on the wall about who you need to beat. The Lions have a very big game if they could pull that one off. So we're going to get a lot of information this week, probably as much as we've gotten in any week this late in the season. These games way heavy. So that's what I'm looking to do. So, you got weather going to come and play into some of these things and cold weather situations. So it'll be interesting. And then, some teams are just going to be finished off and they're going to, you start to get that list where percent chance of making the playoffs is 0. There's a couple teams down here. Then everybody starts getting added to the list, and then we get a clearer picture. We still have football to play. There's still 5 more weeks.
Yeah,
it's a lot of football, but
there's a lot of football.
It's gonna get cleared up, and then then the only thing we'll talk about who's getting MVP, and then how do you win your fantasy game when all the starters are sitting? So momentum.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I just hope the Dolphins beat the Jets.
Of course.
Okay,
that's it.
Short and
Beat the
sweet.
Jets.
That's all
That's
we need.
it.
What about you, Earnest?
Yeah, I'm eyeballing tomorrow night's game. The Lions. I'm a little concerned to injuries, as I said earlier. These next 2 weeks for the Lions are going to be really, really key. As to Noah's point about formation, consistency, and where these teams are at. They play Green Bay tomorrow night. They play Buffalo next week. So the Lions are for me to focus this next week or two. To be honest with you. So
yeah, my what I'm looking forward to is for Jake to show us this picture. He's going to show us right now.
What do we got? What is this?
Oh,
we got it.
Are
We
we going
didn't-
to look at it?
No, it's not there.
Okay.
The producer messed it up, so I'm safe right
perfect.
No,
It
it
is
doesn't.
I
actually
got
a
saved.
picture of Noah with that silly hat on.
It's only weird if it doesn't work. So it's can't get this done, and I'm here for
Noah
it. So
is
you're gonna have to wait till next week to actually see that.
there's
thing.
the picture.
no.
No,
Oh,
it's a
there's
clock.
the
That's
hat.
me.
Keep
That's a
going.
clock.
Keep going.
Wait,
God.
he's trying
There it
to.
is.
He's
There
trying.
it is.
Wait.
Push!
There's
Push!
the team.
He's-
There's the team.
Push!
Oh,
There he is.
It's a long story.
That's disgusting.
It's not. It's like there's a shark hat, and it's like, hey, and I'm like, the team's getting killed. Let me put this shark hat on. Here we are.
Did it work?
Yeah, they blew him
That's
out.
all that matters.
So now I'm
That's all
stuck
that
wearing the
matters.
shark hat for the rest of the season.
Okay,
Maybe
if
we'll
it-
wear it
if
on
it-
the show.
If it
I'll bring it to the show next time. Yes, I'll bring it to the show. If we
Next
win this,
week.
if we win, there it is. Yeah,
we're
it's
not
terrible.
seeing the dance. We
No,
gotta get the
forget the
dance on
dance.
video too. Send the dance. That is
that's the
deplorable.
best part, the dancing part. Yes, come on.
God damn the technology nowadays to get that thing in here.
Subscribe to our Patreon though to get the dance video if you wanna see it.
That's week
Subscribers only.
14. PBKC picks. Have
What a
great
nightmare!
week.
This show isn't even good anymore.